here to share his journey through a complete MCL and ACL tear. Please welcome our final speaker of the day, Senior Nick Juran.
I always knew I'd end up here at St. Francis. My mom's an alum. I have a lot of connections to this school, and I grew up a couple minutes away. So as a kid, I would always come to the football games, wanting to be like the players on the field. See, I've always been a kid who has wanted to reach the next level. So in middle school, I would dream about coming to St. Francis and playing sports. I finally got here. My freshman and sophomore year went well. And at the beginning of my junior year, where I was starting on the varsity football team, I had just gotten my driver's license, my acne had gone away. It was kind of like a dream come true moment for me. This is me on October 20th, 2017, warming up for a football game against Archbishop Mitty High School, our 7th game of the season. The game started. We were up 28-7 at halftime, and I was having fun. And why wouldn't I be? I was doing what I loved. The third quarter came around. I was at my deep safety position. The wide receiver on the right side of the field ran an inward breaking route and caught the ball. I ran up to make the tackle, just as I had 1,000 times before, got close, planted my right leg, and then it happened. The next thing I remember was lying on the ground, holding my knee, biting my mouth guard to mellow the pain. A couple minutes later, I got up and walked off the field. I thought it was a stinger, and I didn't want to look soft in front of my teammates. I asked the athletic trainers if I could go back into the game, to which they quickly responded no. I wasn't worried. If it wasn't just a little tweak, I'd be out a month tops. The only thing I was really worried about is if I could wear a free dress to school the next week. I showed up to my appointment at the doctor's office with some sort of superhero confidence, but sitting in that little waiting room will make you question everything you've ever done. The doctor finally came in and said the words I never thought I would hear. I had fully torn both my ACL and MCL. I can't tell you what he said next because there was tears in my eyes and my mind had gone blank. A couple days later, I underwent ACL reconstruction surgery, and that's when the realities of my injury really began to settle in. I couldn't play football or do anything athletic for a really long time, and my life was athletics. Any chance I had of playing in college had disappeared. I couldn't even get off my couch. It dragged me down, and I began sinking. My surgery was on a Tuesday, and my team had a really big game against Sarah High School on Friday, a game I really wanted to be at. So on Friday, I got through school, solely on Advil, I might add, because my mom didn't want me getting hooked on opioids. When game time came around, I was not feeling good. I was tired from crutching around all day, and at halftime, I threw up. My parents had to come get me, and we lost that game by a touchdown. A touchdown I felt like I could have prevented if I hadn't gotten hurt. 48 hours later, the pain was starting to feel better. Then came chills. That followed by a fever. I couldn't get sick now. Headaches, I threw up, and my knees definitely still hurt. Then came the sore throat. It started small. It was just a minor annoyance. It got worse and worse and worse until I couldn't even drink water. Over the course of that week, I lost almost 20 pounds. Any muscle on my body had evaporated. I remember laying in my bed that following Friday, missing another game. Sad, angry, scared, and at that exact time and place, I had finally hit my lowest moment. Bottom, meet Nick. I'm not telling you this story for you to feel bad for me. The fact is that there are kids all across the country, kids at St. Francis, that have gone through much harder adversity than just a sports injury. But the fact of adversity is that it's not a matter of if, but when, and everyone experiences it. But what is adversity? The dictionary defines it as unfavorable or adverse fortune or fate. Ouch. See, I personally feel like adversity has a bad rep. People are terrified of it. They run from it at any cost. But what it really is is a powerful creator. It can create strength, wisdom, love, hope, and greatness. But it can also create sadness, doubt, and regret. And what it creates is decided by one simple question you face when you are at your lowest moment. Am I going to fight? If the answer is no, and you choose to turn from your problems and take the easy road, that adversity will haunt you forever and will limit you from reaching your full potential. But if you fight, it will be the most rewarding process you have ever experienced. If you fight, you will have your mind on the end, but you'll pick up valuable lessons along the way. You will have strength that you never knew you had. And guess what? When the next problem comes around, you will know you'll be able to beat it because you defeated the last problem. While I definitely wouldn't want to get injured again, I'm happy I got hurt. Yeah, you heard me right. I'm happy and grateful because I became such a better person in all facets of my life because of this experience. My grades and athletic performance improved. My second semester junior year, I achieved a 4.0 GPA. I had never sniffed a 4.0. More importantly, it allowed me to step back and look at the decisions and actions I was making on a daily basis, and I became a better friend and brother. This experience helped me gain literally hundreds of positive things I now know, including the importance of looking at things positively. A lot of people see CEOs or professional athletes that have made it to the top despite a rough childhood or unfavorable circumstances, and they wonder how they did it. But for me, it's now obvious. By working through their problems, they gain the strength, knowledge, wisdom, and grit that the rest of the population has not unlocked yet. We need to fight in order to grow, and growing is the best thing we can do for ourselves as a society in general and for yourself. So you hit your lowest point, and the weight of the world is on you. You don't need to lift that weight up without a little help. I have 3 tips and steps that I kind of learned throughout my process that hopefully you guys can embrace and put into your daily routine. The first is to set goals. Take a minute, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour to come up with as specific goals as possible. You need to know what you're trying to accomplish because you can't hit a target that you can't see. The path to overcoming adversity is a long, long climb. It's way up there, and sometimes you won't be able to see the end. But when you set goals, it gives you the steps you need to reach the top. The second step, and this is so, so important, is that you need to have motivation bigger than yourself. It's really common for high schoolers especially, but everyone in general, to kind of be motivated by just themselves. I'm not talking about being selfish, but performing actions based off the reward you will get. For me, school is a perfect example of this. My motivation to study was to get good grades so I can get into a good college, so I could get a good job and make the most amount of money in the future. This motivation is strong, and it reflected as I was doing well. But here's the thing. You are going to face adversity that acts like a wall to your self-centeredness, like my injury was to mine, and the only way that you can topple that wall is if you have extra motivation bigger than yourself. Everything changed when I realized this. Back to the school example. If I was just thinking about myself, it would be easy to give up late night studying when I was struggling. But when my mindset changed, my actions changed. When I thought about how my dad worked his ass off to overcome becoming poor and become the first in his family to go to college, how my mom worked harder than anyone I know to attend one of the most prestigious universities in the world and break gender biases in the workplace, how they created thousands of hours to make the sacrifices and decisions to allow me to have every opportunity that I could ever want and need. When I thought about that, it was easy to keep going. When you apply bigger motivations, you achieve bigger results you never think would be possible. It's bigger than you. The third and final step is that you need to surround yourself with the right people. Motivational speaker and entrepreneur Juran once said that you are an average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If the 5 people you spend the most time with have a negative outlook on life, it will drag you down. You should be on a constant quest for growth and self-improvement, and your friends need to reflect that. This idea of positive influences goes past just your friends. If you listen to a speech by Martin Luther King Jr. or read a book by Michael Jordan, that is effectively spending time with those people, and they are influencing your life. It's easy to do this. On your drive to school, instead of listening to music, turn on a podcast. Instead of watching another Netflix video, go to YouTube and watch a video on Mark Wahlberg's daily routine. You need to surround yourself with great people, because to be great, a level of effort and commitment is required that is unnatural to most people. When they see you succeed after putting in this effort, it's easy for them to throw shade than to put in that same level of effort. You get labeled as crazy, weird. Don't surround yourself with those people. Surround yourself with the people that are just as crazy as you, crazy enough to believe in your dreams. Thankfully, I recovered from my injury and I was able to have an amazing and fun senior year. And for me, it was confirmation that the sunniest times come after battling through the storm. And I'll end with this. Adversity is not something we actively seek, nor do we enjoy experiencing it. But what I do know is that the most valuable lessons come from battling through hard times. For this reason, I owe a lot to my injury my junior year, and I'll be ready to take on the next challenge with unparalleled optimism, a relentless work ethic, and strong motivations, and I hope you guys will do the same. Thank you.